Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, be honest with me. Have you ever tried to learn a new language and then just completely given up by like day 3? Yeah, it happens to the absolutely best of us. So today, we're popping open the hood to look at a really fascinating piece of instructional design that prevents exactly that from happening. We're going to examine the exact master blueprint used to generate a highly effective Day 8 lesson of a 15-day spoken English course designed specifically for Urdu and Hindi speakers. Whether you're an educator, a language learner yourself, or just kind of fascinated by how information is structured for maximum retention, this architectural breakdown is going to be incredibly insightful for you. We'll see exactly how a simple set of instructions transforms into a dynamic, highly engaging learning engine. Let's quickly map out our agenda for today. We'll start with the Day 8 blueprint, then move to setting up for success. After that, we'll hit the 3-column translation strategy, followed by real-world dialogue application. And finally, we'll wrap up with challenges and active recall. All right, Section 1, the Day 8 blueprint. Let's get right into the core DNA of this lesson. So, the source material mandates an exact 6-step sequence to build a totally foolproof, structured language lesson. You see, when a student hits Day 8 of a 15-day course, predictability is absolutely everything. It lowers the cognitive load. The framework demands a very specific flow, starting with the topic of the day, moving into an introduction, and then a concept explanation. From there, it requires exactly 20 sentences, followed by short dialogues, and ending with homework and a challenge. It's a really tight, no-nonsense framework that makes absolutely sure every single lesson hits the necessary pedagogical marks without wandering off track. Now, those theoretical steps we just talked about, they have to be grounded in a highly practical subject that logically follows Day 7. Think about relatable topics, like talking about your daily routine, or maybe expressing likes and dislikes. The lesson isn't just floating in a vacuum. It's a carefully placed stepping stone in a much larger 15-day journey. By anchoring the vocabulary in the student's actual everyday life, you immediately answer their biggest subconscious question: why on earth do I need to learn this? It takes these abstract concepts and transforms them into immediate, highly usable tools.
Moving right along to Section 2, setting up for success. This is all about capturing the heart and mind of the learner.
You know, the opening of literally any learning experience completely dictates the energy for the entire session. The source specifically demands a short, energetic welcome written entirely in Roman Urdu. And why is that? Well, to keep beginner motivation absolutely peaking, but it definitely doesn't stop there. When it's time to tackle the tricky stuff, like grammatical formulas, those explanations must remain in simple Roman Urdu to prevent that classic beginner overwhelm. Keeping the technical hurdles low early on ensures the student stays engaged and, most importantly, confident. In fact, the blueprint makes a very strict demand on this point. It says to explain the main grammar rules, structures, or sentence formulas of today's topic in very simple Roman Urdu so that beginners can understand it easily. Complex rules absolutely must be heavily simplified and localized. This rule essentially forces the content out of academic jargon and meets the learner exactly where they are. This approach makes the student feel empowered and truly capable, which is totally vital for anyone trying to push past the halfway mark of a demanding language course. All right, let's jump into Section 3, the 3-column translation strategy. This is the mechanical muscle of the lesson. The framework is actually really specific about volume. It requires exactly 20 realistic daily use sentences. Not 50, which, let's face it, is a recipe for a nap, but exactly 20. And they have to be directly related to the topic of the day. This provides a perfectly sized, measurable chunk of data. It's enough to feel like a substantial lesson, but not so many that it becomes literally impossible to memorize. It hits the absolute sweet spot for cognitive retention. To actually deliver this vocabulary, the prompt dictates a mandatory 3-column markdown table format. You have the English sentence on the left, the Roman Urdu phonetic translation right in the middle, and the traditional Urdu script on the right. This layout is brilliant because it perfectly bridges the gap between pronunciation and reading. If a student struggles to read the native script, well, the Roman Urdu acts as a phonetic safety net. But if they want to confirm the exact phrasing, the native script is right there to ground it. It's just an incredibly clean structural way to process multi-layered linguistic information all at the exact same time. Up next is Section 4, Real-World Dialogue Application, because theory is nothing without practice, right?
Let's be real. Rote memorization, like just staring at 20 standalone sentences without any connected context, almost guarantees that information is going to be completely forgotten by tomorrow. The blueprint actively combats this by shifting to connected conversation, demanding 2 to 3 relatable dialogues. Think of stuff like friends discussing their daily schedules or chatting about their hobbies. And most importantly, these dialogues have to actively use today's 20 sentences. It forces the whole lesson to shift from mere list reading to actual, practical fluency. It paints a vivid mental picture of when and exactly how to actually use the language they just practiced.
And finally, Section 5, Challenges and Active Recall. This is how we build that crucial forward momentum.
The closing of this lesson is highly structured as well. The source requires exactly 5 specific translation practice questions to really lock in that active recall. But it goes a step further, into digital community building. It mandates a small interactive challenge designed specifically for a digital comment section. This is just a brilliant tactic for boosting engagement and making the entire learning process feel social. Furthermore, the prompt insists the output be formatted cleanly using Markdown. That means using bold headings and bullet points for easy readability. And finally, the underlying tone must remain friendly, encouraging, and highly engaging right up to the very last word.
So we have seen how meticulously this entire lesson is constructed, right? From the targeted daily topic all the way to the 3-column translation tables and relatable conversational dialogues. So here's a final thought to take away from this explainer today. If this were your framework, what interactive challenge would you assign in the comments to ensure your students eagerly return for day 9? Think about that. Apply these architectural secrets to your own learning or teaching, and we will see you next time.